Hello, Elvis fans. Back to reading some more of your comments and replying to them. So, Mary said Lisa Marie told Elvis and Linda that Priscilla was livid that Elvis and Linda were constantly together and he was never that way with her. Well, that makes some sense right there because Elvis didn't want to be with Priscilla all the time. He wanted to be with Linda all the time. Now, some Priscilla fans might think that's unfair, but Linda wanted to be at every show. She wasn't bored by Elvis, and I don't know if Priscilla really was. Wanted to be at every show. Anyways, so then at SOOO or Sue 7434 said he was a great man, and generally when I think about the press or the media in general, it is never what it seems. Priscilla was the one who spread the most nonsense, and she didn't deserve that. Um, well, you know what? I should have clicked on that to kind of see what else you said, so I will try to revisit that comment. Maria says Linda loved Elvis and was amazing with Lisa Marie. Yeah, that's true. And that's probably the reason why Lisa called Linda first, even though Elvis and Linda weren't together at that time when Elvis passed away. That was the choice of Lisa for the phone call. And then Marta. Now, I don't speak Spanish or read Spanish, but thankfully I can translate this to English, so I hope that you can understand my response to your comment back, Marta. Spanish is certainly a beautiful language. Uh, I like Linda. She was important for Elvis, Marta said, and also for Lisa. And got some cute little heart there emojis. At least Lisa had good words for her and was very fond of her. Now, what I don't understand as we wait for this message to expand here, what I don't understand is that, and I think this was Priscilla's doing, because I bet you Priscilla poisoned Lisa's mind towards Linda, and I don't see a whole lot of camaraderie, I guess it is, between Linda and Lisa in Linda's older years. Now, I think that Linda probably would have wanted to, have a relationship with her because she knew how much Elvis loved Lisa. I guess it won't expand right now by Google, but thank you for the comment there, Marta. At Elvis78 ALE, who comments here a lot, says maybe neither of them really won, with some laughing faces. Elvis was not a trophy, that's true, and both took what he decided to give them. Obviously, I prefer Linda, and I think they shared a lot more. Good comment there. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's a competition, but I mean, obviously Linda won over Priscilla because Priscilla wanted to have, supposedly she wanted to reignite their passion at some point in time. Suppose that's what she said. But Elvis, according to an article that I saw that was in a paper in the 70s, had said no to her. That she wanted, when she was having problems with Mike Stone, she wanted to come back and he refused her. Which makes sense because I don't feel like he loved her. I don't feel like he wanted to be around her. I don't feel like he felt that she was the best for him or had his best interest at heart. All right, so Mary on the Ginger Alden, was it love? The true love, Ginger Presley? Mary says Ginger holds the distinction. And I read this comment earlier before I screen recorded this, and I appreciated the comment. Ginger holds the distinction of being the only woman Elvis ever proposed to without being blackmailed to do so. Whether it would have lasted, no one knows. But it's evident that he was singularly serious about her. Elvis had been in love with Anne Margaret. He had been pressured to stop seeing her because of his unfortunate obligations, which perhaps made him doubly determined not to lose Ginger. And possible, too. I know, once again, I mean, I know that he spoke to Linda. According to Linda, Elvis wanted to get married in the beginning. She wanted to get married later on. Or it might have been backwards. Maybe she wanted to get married in the beginning, and Elvis wanted to get married later on. I need to look into that. Maybe you can comment out there on that. That being said, yeah, there's a ring on Ginger's finger, and folks that are around Elvis said that he was engaged to her. Now, some people don't think he would have followed through, but he did put a ring on her finger. She has come out to refute some of the persistent lies of others, and one thing she cleared up was that going to Elvis concerts with him was exciting. And she absolutely loved going. there were some stories that Ginger didn't want to go on the road all the time, and it's possible that she didn't want to go on the road all the time. She was young, and there was a lot of work. She speaks glowingly of Elvis. She never divulges intimate and private details, nor does she make disparaging remarks about him, which is a hallmark of true love. That's a great comment. Now, I do not dislike Ginger. I do wish, in some ways, that she was not with him the night that he passed away, that it had been somebody like Linda. Probably only Linda. Linda might be the only person that Elvis wouldn't have passed away that night. That being said, I think it's completely unfair for us to expect that Ginger, at the age that she was, um, or any age, would be responsible for Elvis's life. So, just to clear that part up. So here, Robin Mongold 7110 said Elvis would love that his merchandise is still popular. He thought no one would remember him. We will never forget him. That's a great comment. Yeah, Elvis would get a kick out of that. Elvis would have signed anything that was put in front of him. Whew, today is a weird day. I'm yawning left and right and having to restart these these comments and responses. So, hey, Patrick, yeah, here you go again. Another great video. Thanks. That's a great heart emoji. I really like that. And that was on the Elvis Like You've Never Seen Him video. I appreciate all the new comments and all the new users that are out here commenting, and I appreciate those of you that have been here for years. Really, I started this channel seriously in 2022. I did put some Elvis tribute videos out of me singing like Elvis in 2021 because I'd started this channel. It was really about life insurance. That's what I had this channel originally um, dedicated to. Very different than Elvis, obviously. But I put a couple of tribute videos out, and before I knew it, there was like 20,000 views on one, 40,000 views on other. So I thought, you know what do I do? And I need to do a channel about Elvis. It's something I've loved to do. I love to talk about Elvis, defend his legacy. I loved him since I was a little boy. Um, and sung him in every single concert and every single show I've done in my lifetime, which is well over 2,000 shows I've sang. I did a show a day a week when I was 18 through 19. So that right there is 730 shows, 740 shows. And then I was singing 3 nights a week in California at the clubs, Pappy and Harriet's in Pioneer Town. And then, of course, coming out to Nashville, I played shows, and my wife and I, we've played shows. Um, anyhow, Joanne Klingman, how's it going, Joanne? Good to see you again. I agree that doll doesn't look like Elvis, but if I could get my hands on one, I would love to have it. I agree, so would I. Joanne's been on this channel for a while as well. And at Clevic.Claire, once again, somebody who's, I just had a little squeak in my voice there. That's way up there. Once again, Clevic.Claire. Good to see you, Clevic.Claire. I believe your first name has to be Claire. You need to clear that up for me so I know. Says, thank you very much. I enjoyed all the photos and reviews of his shows. What struck me most on this Elvis Like You've Seen Him video, what struck me most was the artist from, the article, yeah, from Elvis Conquers Tucson Teenagers. You know what, I'm glad that you brought that up. What I need to do is I need to blow up some of these articles, and I need to fully read them, because it's a great piece of Elvis history that I don't think gets covered enough. Reviews of where he played his shows. Some of these authors didn't like Elvis, which was their right. They were afraid of Elvis. The guys were afraid of Elvis. They were afraid their girlfriend or their sisters or their mother would love Elvis more than they were loved. Or it's something they just totally didn't understand because Elvis was so different. The reaction was so different that it scared them. Different things scare people. So what struck me most was the article from Elvis Conquers Tucson Teenagers, where it is written that Elvis said, well, it's just fine, I guess, he drawled, removing a huge wad of gum from his mouth and tossing it nonchalantly over his shoulder. He was such a character. That's funny. Elvis knew how to get the crowd going, and yeah, I think he did some things that a young person does that, that the older generation didn't understand it. They just didn't get it. But he truly was a rock and roller. Elvis was a good guy, good kid, good spirit, but he did some rebellious things. Now, he was smart enough not to talk about him in his interviews, but He certainly was a rock and roller. Hey, Connie. Connie's one of my members here. On the cool, refreshing treat for Elvis fans. She said these are awesome. Thanks, Connie. Yeah, I got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of some of the advertisements. I guess potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Advertisements. Um, just because they're a piece of Elvis history that doesn't get covered on a daily basis. We all seen the '68 comeback special. We remember how well he delivered "If I Can Dream," and memories sitting there on the stage, and uh, just how amazing he was in concert, and all of his young photos where he looks so great, and his older photos as well where he looks so great. And then we have one of these negative Nancy, negative, what's the guy's name? Let's say, yeah, negative, non-existent in my mind person. How about that? I'm just kidding. At K9 Dragon Factory, totally irrelevant to 2024 and anyone's life. Elvis is way over. Let's hope. Elvis is way over. Let's hope. Maybe he's saying Elvis is way over all that drama with Priscilla. Hey, I guess I can't disagree with that. Um, I wouldn't think he's happy about anything that's occurred, but you got the right to your opinion, so I appreciate you coming on here. All right, also on the cool, refreshing treat for Elvis fans video, Karen Karen Tranter, it looks like, 7806. Hi, I saw that Elvis doll in the exhibition in London. I was totally freaked out. Laugh face, laugh face, laugh face. Interesting. I'd love to hear more. Gosh, did you take a picture of it? If you happen to have taken a picture of it, send it to me, and I'll feature it because I've never seen the doll, and it looks really creepy and weird from the advertisement. I normally would say advertisement, but I'm yawning left and right, and I'm tired for some reason today. Um, we have kind of Priscilla again. Priscilla Presley interview, a must watch. Okay, so Anna Maria. I'm gonna take a stab at this. Facciano, 1688, commented 4 hours ago. It's probably about 5 or 6 now. When Elvis returned to the States, he had a lot to do to resume his career, and he did not call Priscilla in a short time. Priscilla used to write often to him, begging him to convince her parents to let her go visit him. That happened the first time when she was 16, and then she went to stay at Graceland in 62. She was 17, am I right? So she went to visit California. No, I think she might have went to visit Graceland, and then they went to California without the parents knowing. That being said, she didn't live there until she was almost 18. She came over to live in 63, um, which was, I think it was March of 63. She was supposed to stay with Dee and Vernon. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But we do know that she moved into Graceland in May, for good, and probably that was when she was 18. Um, Thank you for the comment, and hopefully that answers your question. And perhaps I'm wrong with that, and y'all can comment and let me know. Now, y'all have heard my opinion, of course, on the whole Priscilla Elvis relationship thing, and for those of you that have read Child Bride, you understand as well. For those of you that have not, it's worth a read. Even if you're a Priscilla defender, even if you're a Priscilla fan, um, there's something very telling about the fact that Priscilla couldn't and didn't sue Suzanne Finstead, um, because she couldn't prove any of this stuff was inaccurate in the book. She did sue Curry Grant, but then she didn't make him pay the damages, and she released him from any liability as long as he did not a liability of raping her, or attempting to. That's what she said. As long as he didn't talk about his well-documented claim that she gave himself to him in order to meet Elvis, traded herself basically. But read it. The next one is from Angel, or Ange Elvis Carrara, 7426. A real scam if he will see the girl at the time of his death. Oh, that's true. He's gonna see. He'll see everybody he's ever loved, I guess. And I don't know if I completely understand that. You can certainly respond to this video and and I believe that it was in Spanish and it had to be translated. I appreciate your comment and I appreciate your love of Elvis. Marta, now here's one that I did translate. Now this was in Spanish, so when I read this, I hope that it comes across clear, because you know how Google Translate can be sometimes. But so this was on the Rare Elvis Photos. Read your comments and answers your questions on Elvis. So this must be um, the part where I was talking about Priscilla, or one of you guys were talking about Priscilla. So Marta says the snake returned to our boy Elvis's last name because she knew that she is nobody. She has done nothing in her life but profit and live at the expense of Elvis. And to be relevant, she had to go as Little Red Riding Hood, alone and helpless, when she had parents. She wants to be buried in Graceland and next to Elvis, not with her daughter, and much less with grandson. No, next to Elvis, the man who is so bad and abused her, according to her squeamishness. I tell those crazy people in the head, do you want to ask those poor women who really suffer from abuse and mistreatment, women who are currently hiding and fleeing due to fear that their abusers will find them and put an end to them? So basically what she's saying here, and it's a good point, is that, you know, the way that Elvis was made to look in the Sofia Coppola movie was very brooding, very abusive looking. The movie had him throwing a chair at her head and her just ducking and barely missing her. And she approved that to be put in the movie. Yet in her book, she said that Elvis got upset about the music and threw a chair against the wall that was opposite of her. It wasn't next to her, wasn't right by her head. Um, so basically, she said, if they want to be buried next to the same men from whom they escaped to save their lives, let's see who is brave one to ask those women if they want to be buried next to them or next to them. Elvis divorced Prissy. Oh, she's got it. Even Prissy, when you're going from Spanish to English, comes out as Prissy, and not the other way around. Elvis continued with his life. He dated other women with whom he was happy, whether he was with them for a long or short time, but he was happy. The abusers and abusers of those poor women who are fleeing and hiding from those men who abuse them, what they want is to continue torturing them and continue making their lives HE double hockey sticks, right? In this rare and strange case, it is the supposed victim, Priscilla, who returns again and again to her supposed abuser, Elvis, who insists again and again to stick her nose into everything related to his legacy and life of her supposed abuser. And the one who now comes out with the fact that she wants to be buried next to her abuser, it seems like an insult to those other women who are hiding and scared to death from their abuser. So that's a good point, you know. I mean, and she's making a lot of money on this. Now, is she going around during her little tours talking about Elvis abusing her, or Elvis um, trapping her in the house and all that stuff? Maybe she is. I mean, maybe she's talking about that. I don't know, but I know that in her book and the movie, she certainly made herself look the victim, um, in my opinion. And of course, Marta closes with, "I don't believe you, Prissy. I believe you, Elvis, and I'm with you always." So that's a very long comment, well written, well thought out, and it accurately um, shows the situation going on. I mean, Priscilla's profiting on that movie, Sofia Coppola, Priscilla, with her tour. The same women and the same guys that believe that Elvis was the person that he was in that movie, which was a brooding, abusive, moody, unhappy, controlling person. Most of the people that are in her crowd are those that believe her and believe that what a strong woman she was to escape him, to escape the king of rock and roll. Also, what a brilliant businesswoman she is in order to grow Graceland into the empire that it is today, when it's not her that grew Graceland into the empire. She's shown nothing else that is separate from Elvis that showed any success. All right, so Anne Maria, C3MP, said, "I don't know that Elvis thought of Anne Margaret as a soulmate as she did to him. Certainly he was enchanted by her, but he also got very angry at her for saying in the media that they were engaged after Viva Las Vegas. If he loved her that much, he would have made it happen. I just don't think he was the marrying kind. He was having too much fun with all the girls coming after him. But a lot used him, like Barbara Lee. She got a Mercedes or two out of him and then took up with Steve McQueen and then went back to the MGM guy, who had the most power to advance her career. Those gold digger types were in it for the fame, connections, money, cars, and gifts that Elvis would provide. Even Sheila Ryan was looking for someone rich to marry. She settled on James Caan when Elvis proved too needy for her. Now, I do remember Sheila saying something to that extent, that he needed too much of her and she couldn't do it. Joyce Bova looked a lot like Elvis, had wanted Priscilla to look. There was attraction, but it would never have worked. She was in Washington, D.C., and not about to quit her job for him. She broke up with him when she realized that there were more women in his life besides her and Priscilla. They all made money selling books with their stories: Joyce, Barbara Lee, Linda, Sonny, Red, Marty Lacker, Priscilla, etc. If Elvis had been faithful, I think Priscilla would have been faithful to him. Got to disagree with you on that part. Well, maybe if Elvis would have brought her over and he was the one woman kind back then, or wasn't made to um, take pictures with lots of starlets too, that'd be a different story. So she certainly had tried all those years waiting, but to be who he wanted her to be. Elvis had deep-rooted issues from his childhood poverty, then losing his mother, that no one person who was going to solve or satisfy. It didn't help that Vernon, Elvis's father, was a player, took up a D shortly after Gladys died, and had his own affairs. So once Elvis got married to Priscilla, you've heard me say this before, she's the first one that cheated. She had the affair. Elvis was trying to be serious. He was trying to be committed to her. Whether he was forced into it or not, he was still trying. Everybody said that, including Priscilla. We have caught Priscilla again. Priscilla Presley interview must watch. Claire Lee, 7054, says she wants everything from Presley Foundation. Well, she's not getting it. Go Riley. And then she follows up with, her name is not Presley. She remarried. Now, of course, she didn't legally remarry as far as we know. Maybe it's locked away somewhere, but if she shouldn't have the name Presley, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And Claire's as well. All right, now this is a long name. Thania Undernest, 6992. The best book about Elvis is The Faith of Elvis, The Whole Truth About Elvis Told by Billy Stanley, my opinion, with a lot of hearts. I have to say I've not read it. But I will. I mean, I believe that Elvis had love for his stepbrothers. I believe that he wanted to take care of them. I do feel like, I don't know. I'm gonna save that for another time. Age Yuwaba Man says user-RW7SW3VE2W. Doesn't want to put their name out there, I guess. Adjuwaba Man is the sussy gossip business, so disgusting and not so true in my humble opinion, with a stick in the tongue out. Okay, hey, thanks for coming on. Obviously he doesn't believe this stuff about Priscilla, and that's certainly you're right. So I appreciate you being on here. And then I'm Priscilla Presley, The Untold Story, at Geraldine Cole 940. Also, Mike Stone's wife was pregnant when Prissy stole him from her. Red Child Bride, every fan should read it. Good point. And yeah, I mean, I've talked about that too, and maybe I need to talk about it more. And it wasn't just Priscilla's fault. It's Mike Stone's fault. Mike chose to leave his wife, who had a child on the way as well, and I think he had another child too. Lori Hill, 2948, says Elvis was a player, as one of his role models was Rudolph Valentino. During the filming of Love Me Tender, Elvis had proposed to Deborah Paget. Priscilla looked just like her. I think Elvis really did love Priscilla. No, I think he loved Deborah Paget. I believe the sadness if their divorce led to his early death. I will finish that comment in the next video. I appreciate you, Lori Hill. And TCB TLC, like, subscribe, share this around, become a member. As always, till next time, take care of yourselves, take care of those you love, appreciate and respect yourself. This is Rare Elvis Photos.